This is Higashikata Josuke, and you're watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Back when I was a middle schooler, my old man disappeared for a while. But that's nothing compared to what happened to me over winter break. While I was visiting my mom in Morio, she got so pissed at me for coming in late that she kicked me out of the house during the snowstorm. And since then, I haven't had a place to stay or any money to buy food, which is why I decided to visit my dad in Tokyo. But the second I arrived at his mansion, things got weird. For starters, the butler told me that my dad had gone missing, but he didn't seem worried at all about it. He just kept saying stuff like, "I wonder how much longer we can keep this up, and it's time to bring the old man back." It was seriously freaky, so I did the only logical thing I could think of. I stole a wad of cash from his safe and took a train back to Morio to live with my mom again. But little did I do, I soon found out that the people who attacked me in the apartment complex were behind my dad's disappearance. There were other stand users trying to kill him. I had already guessed that this town had some pretty messed up secrets. After all, my old man is one of the most powerful stand users in the world. But I never expected it to get violent. That SYI was totally shocked when a carload of thugs nearly plowed me over with their van. And even though I managed to save myself by using my stand ability, Crazy Diamond, there's only so many times you can run before you find yourself cornered. Thankfully, a mysterious girl with a parasol saved me from those guys. She said she knew what was going on and offered to protect me, but only if I helped her take down these villains called the Passion Gang. Of course, I agreed immediately. I mean, I had nothing to lose. But turns out this chick wasn't exactly who she made herself out to be. She and her older sister were actually undercover agents sent by my dad to watch over me. Turns out, he predicted that I would be targeted by the Passion Gang because I have the same stand as him, Crazy Diamond, and they wanted to steal it from me. Now, you might not know this about me, but I'm really attached to my hair. I don't care how short it is. It's a big part of my style. So you can imagine how pissed I was when the Passion guys shaved it all off. They thought it'd make me feel helpless and weak, but it only made me stronger. As I began to tap into the true potential of Crazy Diamond, I also began to open up to the idea of having a stand arrow, so I could pass on my power to someone else. That way, no matter what happens to me, my ability will live on. But before I could ask my dad about it, he returned home. Turns out, he'd been hanging out with a new friend, someone who looked kind of familiar. Yeah, that's right. The Passion Gang was led by none other than my own grandfather, Dio Brando. The last time our families met, he tried to sacrifice my baby brother to become immortal. And now, here he was, causing trouble yet again. Man, if only my dad listened to me and let me tag along on his little trip, maybe I could have stopped Dio myself. But nah, instead he got taken hostage along with everyone else in Morio Town. The plan was to use a bomb to wipe out every stand user and then steal the arrows from their corpses. That meant the whole town would lose their abilities forever. And to make things worse, the only cure for this disstanding sickness was hidden away in a secret vault under the town. But even with all the odds stacked against us, I still felt confident. But after all, I was facing down Dio Brando himself. This was my chance to finally defeat him and avenge my big bro, Jonathan. Turns out that wasn't as easy as I thought, even though I teamed up with the two Speedwagonaires, Rohan Kishib, and Koichi Hirose, and an ally from the future named Okuyasu Nijimura. Dio had some tricks up his sleeve. First, he made me choose between saving the town or defeating him, and I chose the town. Not because I wasn't confident in my ability to beat him, but because I wanted to stop more innocent people from getting hurt. Then he turned my own stand ability against me by using his stand, King Crimson, to erase 3 seconds from my memory. That made me hesitate just long enough for him to stab me with his knife. And since my stand ability couldn't heal me from a non-stand related attack, I hit the deck. But luckily, Okuyasu jumped in front of me to save me from King Crimson's next attack. That gave me just enough time to recover and fight back. Although honestly, I'm not sure if I could have done it without the help of a few unexpected allies. You see, after getting stabbed, I blacked out and woke up inside the secret vault. With the help of Weather Report, the stand of the fortune teller from earlier, I managed to escape. When I got back to the church, everyone was fighting hard to hold Dio back. But after everything I learned from my old man and all the battles I fought, I was ready to become the strongest Joestar that I could be. When I appeared, Dio was so surprised that I was still alive, he dropped his guard. It only lasted for a second, but that was all I needed to attack. I unleashed everything I had into him, and he ended up getting yeeted through the roof. And when he tried to attack me again, I used all the knowledge I gained throughout the entire adventure to land a critical hit. I felt so bad for laughing, but I couldn't help it. The look on his face was priceless. With that, Dio finally kicked the bucket, and all the people in the town got their powers back. Afterwards, I went back to my dad and asked him about the stand arrow. He basically said that it's complicated, and suggested I wait until I'm older to learn more. So, for now, I'm keeping it a secret. After all, it's not like I need one. I already have Crazy Diamond. I mean, just check out this scar I got from saving a baby. Yeah, that's me, a hero. Alright, now here's the part where I introduce some new characters. Firstly, let's talk about Oingo and Boingo, the vampire brothers who worship Dio Brando. Oingo was the older brother who acted as the leader. He had the stand called Oingo 4, which allowed him to create deadly illusions based on his opponent's greatest fears. Despite being a vampire, Oingo was surprisingly cool-headed and calm, in contrast to his younger brother Bongo, who was hot-headed and reckless. Bongo possessed the stand killer queen, which could turn anything it touched into a bomb that exploded shortly after he left the area. The reason these guys became vampires was because they wanted to gain powers similar to those of their idol, Dio Brando. Then there's Toru, a creepy stalker who had the stand called Here Comes Trouble, which could manipulate text and writing in various ways. At first, I thought this guy was kind of funny, but he got really annoying when he wouldn't shut up about how he's going to kill me. Thankfully, my pal Rohan Kishib took care of him pretty quickly. Speaking of Rohan, let's talk about his stand. Heaven's Door. It's a super cool ability that lets him turn people into books, which allows him to extract information from them or change their personalities. Later on, he even unlocks the ability to turn inanimate objects into books, which makes him like the ultimate detective. Next up, we got Yukako Yamajishi, a popular girl at my school who had the stand, Sexy Boots. Her ability was to control the hair on her body, and she used it to get close to guys she liked. But she eventually fell in love with a boy named Toru, and became a lot nicer afterwards. After that, I gotta mention Joseph Joestar, my awesome grandpa, who was hiding out in Morio town. He was responsible for the creation of the stand arrow, and knew a ton of useful info. But he kept most of it secret, which drove me nuts. Honestly, sometimes I think he was just messing with me. Oh, and let's not forget Hall Horse, a member of the Passion Gang who had the stand Emperor. It was a sniper stand that could shoot anyone from far away. He was partners with Pet Shop, a stand user who specialized in controlling animals. Together, they made a pretty formidable team. Hall Horse ended up losing his life after challenging me to a battle. Finally, there's Danyacha, a former ally who betrayed us later on. He had the stand eraser, which could remove stands from people. But he switched sides after his partner Shigichi died. To be honest, he wasn't a bad guy. Just wish he'd made a different choice. So yeah, that's the crazy adventure I had in Morio Town. There were lots of close calls and unexpected plot twists, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Now, if you want to hear more about my adventures, click the link below and subscribe for more. Until next time, peace out.